Comics with the Red Ronin.
Hi, I'm the Red Ronin, and today I'm going to review Batman, the Court of Owls Saga, written by the legendary writers Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo. Before we get started, I'm just going to let you know that there are going to be a few sections to this video. First, I'm going to give a brief overview of what the premise of the story is without many spoilers. I'm going to try and keep it as spoiler-free as possible for a miniature overview. Then we're going to give a review that's not spoiler-based and my personal opinions on it. And afterwards, we're going to discuss a more spoiler-based review. So, let's get into it. So, the story written on the back of the Batman Court of Owls is Court is in session. Will the Bat prevail, or the Owls rule Gotham? Hidden for years, a secret organization known as the Court of Owls suddenly surfaces in Gotham City. But why? As Batman begins to unravel the deadly mystery, he discovers a conspiracy going back to his youth, and beyond to the origins of the city he's sworn to protect. Could the Court of Owls, once thought to be nothing more than an urban myth, be behind the ever-ending crime and corruption in Gotham? Or is Bruce Wayne losing his grip on sanity and falling prey to the pressures of being Batman? So, the purpose of the story is that an urban myth known as the Court of Owls has supposedly become less than just an urban myth. Assassins with owl-themed gadgetry in their arsenal get owl-themed masks, blades, pins, and a bunch of other nonsense are starting to hunt down the most influential figures in Gotham, and Batman's trying to stop it. It's a conflict between the old and the new order. To an extent, it's also similar to conservatism and liberalism. And it's just a secret society story. The compact comic that I have here, which compiles the entire issues 1 through 11 of the New 52 Batman run, aka the Court of Owls Saga, says that it is a thriller genre, meaning like secret societies or conspiracy theories to be exact, and a bunch of other nonsense like that. So if you are into any of those types of genres, go check it out. Now I'm going into the review section. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, review time. So, I thought this was an incredible exploration of the secret society field, as the Court of Owls has a greater grip on society than people would expect. This is the spoiler-free-ish review, so the Court of Owls has a large grip on Gotham, which I'll go into further with the spoiler section, and it starts to show how Batman's sanity is starting to be deteriorated through the influence of such diabolical creatures. They have an army of assassins that they send out in different points of the novel that serve as fearsome foes on par with Batman in terms of martial arts skill. And it also shows how he tries to detach his world from the rest of his family, and that in some cases he wants to be a protective father by not getting others involved with certain circumstances. Overall, Batman wins. Surprise! Yeah, most Batman stories don't really have him lose, which is why I'm putting it in the non-spoiler section. And you'll see a lot of interesting characters that Batman has in his current arsenal, aka Batman, Alfred, Nightwing, but you'll also see a few new faces such as the Talons, the assassins of the Court of Owls. You'll see a bunch of their more powerful, influential figures, and a new figure in Gotham who's a politician known as Lincoln March, who, similar to Bruce Wayne, wants to change the world, and specifically Gotham, for the better. Now, I'm going to change it to spoilers. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Spoiler section. Okay, so the story starts out with Batman and all of his wards going to a charity event at Wayne Enterprises while a crazy man, or a desperate man, rushes into Dick Grayson and asks him for sanctuary because he is afraid that people are going to attack him. He's afraid that the monsters of Gotham are hunting him down and trying to kill not only him, but also Bruce Wayne, Dick Grayson, and everyone else related to that society. Which is an intriguing way to set up how a secret society's grip does change and influence, and how paranoid conspiracy theorists or other beings who are viewing secret societies as a life-altering and threatening event can truly darken and destroy the human psyche. And a few days later, that guy ends up dead. He's a John Doe who had his entire body impaled by a variety of owl-shaped daggers. Well, owl-beak-style daggers, but somewhat similar. Anywho, Batman's origin story discusses how, when his parents died, he thought that the Court of Owls, an urban myth, was responsible for his parents' death. And that he's always searched for them, but he's never been able to solve the mystery, which serves as a point of understanding as to this is a unsolved mystery for Batman, and that's what makes it one of the more important stories of the Batman mythos, especially in recent eras. Tom Taylor, Scott Snyder, Jim Starlin, Bob Kane, there are a lot of great Batman writers out there. And Scott Snyder, with this story and also Zero Year, managed to really cement his work in the history of Batman. Some writers and artists, especially with the new AI wave, are not doing great, and Failsafe, trying to make the Zero in our personality into a robot, sort of messed up. But when we're starting to see a new incorporation of figures that are new, but also add to the lore of the Batman mythos and help explain either an internal connection to Batman and a reason why he wants to take them down, B, a ridiculous, nonsensical villain that's just funny to beat up, or C, the C one would be something that doesn't seem like it's going to be major, but it later builds up in a different way that no one expects. So those are the three types of great Batman villains. Joker, he was originally meant to die. In fact, he fell down a chimney, he fell down a few buildings, and he was originally intended to die in his first issues, and he came back a few years later, I believe in the 1960s, which is an example of how some villains, they're not expected to do anything major, and then they reveal to be a lot worse. Court of Owls, great example of how a new villain can have a personal connection to Batman, which is also somewhat similar to the Batman Hush storyline, which is also coming to Compound Comics soon. And lastly, for gimmicky villains that are fun to take down, Convent King. He's ridiculous, he's nonsensical, and to be honest, he looks like Kevin James, but he's funny, he's hysterical, the Batman animated series was genius, and Robert Pattinson agrees with my point, so. And the point of the Court of Owls is that they're a secret society that's been here since the creation of Gotham City itself. Batman's stories, everything that he's worked up to, has been defined by this moment. And as Bruce Wayne seeks to recreate the city in his image to serve as a new depot for Batman because he believes himself to be Gotham City, the Court of Owls also believe themselves to be Gotham City. And as they see Bruce Wayne and Batman to be a threat, they send a talent to have an attack on his life, and also they later manage to imprison him within a labyrinth where he is slowly being driven insane by random assassin attacks, a large amount of white scenery similar to the Israeli and Middle Eastern white rooms, which, for those of you who do not know, the white rooms are different prison cells and constrictions made in order to drive political criminals insane. But besides that, though, they try to slowly break him apart with several days of mental torture, and when he's close to weak, they're trying to feed on his bones. But Batman still makes it out alive. He breaks through. He gets a little help from a character known as Harper Row, who will later become Bluebird, the vigilante. But in the meanwhile, he manages to break out of the vault. He discovers a new secret that Nightwing and all of Haley Circus was originally intended to be Court of Owls. Imagine how Nightwing, Dick Grayson, would be as an owl emblazoned assassin working for political agendas. I mean, come on, this is crazy. But as Batman breaks out and is threatening to reveal the secret of the Court of Owls, they use some weird electronium, which is connected to the Greeks, and they resurrect their finest warriors to go out into Gotham and kill not only Batman and Bruce Wayne, but also every other major influential figure in Gotham that is not a member of the society. Some of them are saved, such as Commissioner Gordon or the Penguin. On the other hand, you get a bunch of other people to die in the sidelines. Meanwhile, it is also revealed in a side story they collect that Alfred Pennyworth's father was also threatened and hunted down and later killed by the Court of Owls. And that his blood is on their hands, and it brings not only a physical and emotional connection to Batman, but also Alfred Pennyworth and the entire Batman family as a whole. The next part of this feature that is interesting is that they managed to raid Batman and all of Wayne Manor. They managed to bring the threat not just to him, but to his entire family. Alfred's going to get the shotgun, shooting people. You get Batman armoring up in some freaky Hellbat style shit and beating up owl ninjas to death and trying to freeze them like Mr. Freeze in order to survive. Also, since this is the spoiler section, just something to point out that these ninjas have weakness to cold. The electronium, their system, which is the weird metal I just mentioned with the Greeks, which also is connected to the coins used for the afterlife. You need frost to kill them. You need to have them constantly in a cold scenario in order for their cells to not exist anymore. And all of the Court of Owls members are supposedly found committing suicide. A few of them escaped, but most of them are found committing suicide at a meeting table, with their masks down, all of them slumped over and dead. It seems like it's over, but then they reveal that one of the figures that was attacked upon earlier, and a politician that was supposed to be running for Gotham as mayor, Lincoln March, he's not as squeaky clean as everyone expected. Lincoln March is supposed to be Thomas Wayne Jr. That's right, Batman may have a brother. This is someone similar to the Owlman storyline used in Earth 3, which is evil doppelgangers of random DC characters. But the storyline for this is that Lincoln March believes, based on stories he heard, that he might have been the son of Bruce Wayne, as he was raised in this hostel, this asylum for children that used to be fine. But when the Waynes died, they weren't. He saw a heart pin on Martha Wayne and thought, "This is my mom. I have a brother. He'll save me. He'll save me." But he never did, so he just constantly hated him, and the Owls decided to break him out, turn him into a fighting machine, and now he uses a futuristic Bat-style armor to go against Batman. He constantly fights against him. Just pow, pow, wha-bam, wha-bam. But in the end, the building gets blown up, and there's no corpse found, so his fate at this point of the story is left ambiguous to whether or not he stayed alive. After all this, it's time now, when it comes down to ratings, I'll give Batman, the Court of Owls Saga, a 9.5 out of 10. The 0.5 deduction is not because of anything wrong with the story. The only reason why is that in some comic book stories, you will find an internal message that you can convey and change your life with. The Court of Owl Saga, on the meanwhile, does not. The quality of the story is amazing. The villains are three-dimensional. Well, Lincoln Marches at least. I mean, the Court of Owl Saga is pretty one-dimensional, actually. Sort of similar to a standard Cobra G.I. Joe nonsense with, as soon as they're beaten, they're like, Curses! And a bunch of random owl assassins fighting against one of the best Batman costume designs in fictional history. So, I hope you have a great day, everyone. And tune in on my next Comics with the Red Ronin reading. I'm going Overwatch next, so see you later. Bye.